Hey guitar champion, what's going on? Justin Hombach here, back from my practice cave, and welcome to today's video where we're going to face one of my biggest nemesis techniques, that are pull-offs. Here we go. Alright, welcome to Master the Legato Part 4. Today we're going to take a look at the pull-off etude I wrote, or pull-off exercise I wrote to work on your pull-off technique. Since I started playing guitar, pull-offs are always kind of my weakest spot in my playing, because my timing is always bad when I do pull-offs. I don't know how much I need to push on the fretboard and when to pull the string off. Have some timing issues, have some sound issues, some strength issues, some control issues, a lot of issues, let's face it. But I thought now is the time. I want to face my But here we are now at Master the Legato, and I want to master the legato with you guys. So I thought to myself, well, I need to work on my pull-off technique, so write a goddamn exercise will help you for your pull-off techniques, and that's what I did, and here we are. You can find the tabs for this exercise in the description box. There's a link where you can download them. Alright, we are going straight to the lesson. Sorry today, no shoutout section, because the battery of my mobile phone just died and I don't have any idea which comment I had to read. But there was a lot of comments in the last few days and I reached 5k subscribers. Thank you for that. I'm going to make a special video about that in the future, so see in a few days a video about my 5k achievement. Clang, 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 yeah. Alright, so much for that. Let's start. Let's get right into the lesson. Here we go. Alright, so this etude consists out of two sections, and the cool thing about this pull-off etude is as well that you are learning also again the 3-note per string scale a little bit better. Alright, and the first section goes like this. We are in the key of G major. I have a 7th string here because I really love this guitar. It's an Ibanez guitar. Awesome. Alright, so much for that, ka-ching. Alright, so I start here on my E string, and the first section goes like this. Okay, in slow, again we are on the G major scale, we are here in the 3rd position. This is where we start, 3, 5, 7, stretched position, 3-note per string, and we are constantly doing descending pull-offs. And first we are doing this here 3 times on the E string, then we're going to the A string, then we're going from the E to the D string through the A string, and back to the A string. So, and this is the first section. We are in triplets, so we have 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. I mean 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're doing the same thing starting on the A string. And then we're doing the same, starting on the D string. Starting on the G string. And that's the first section. And then we're going to the next section, which is basically the next position of the G major scale, and playing everything descending from the E to the D string. And then from the G string to the E string. Sorry. And together. Alright, now the complete lick together. Now you can take those two sequences and play them all around the neck, all around the G major scale, and then starting, for example, next here. And then going here to this scale here. And so on, so on. Now, let's talk a little bit about a few problems here, a few things where I need to be certain, where I as well have to be certain about. Because as I've said, pull-offs are my weakest technique in my playing, and I really focused on some stuff while practicing this, or I still need to focus on this. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. Alright, first and for all, the pressure and the timing. I recommend everybody to check this lick slow. Really slow, so you have a constant triplet feeling, and every note has the same length. See, and this little spot right there, where a little note was a little bit too long, and I didn't really like it because it's not in time. It's not my timing. Now it was correct. Because what happens sometimes when we're going to the next string or we're playing the sequence, our pinky used to tend to lay down a little bit too much on the string, have a little bit too much pressure. So try to stay really calm and be aware of the timing. And the timing is really the biggest problem here, because when you don't have your right hand, which gives you this constant kind of feeling where you have this percussive attack and you know, okay, at this attack my timing is right, it can be really difficult to play each note with the same length. Now the next thing that are a little bit tricky depends from scale to scale, from finger shape to finger shape. So for example, this jump here. Yeah, you see, it's not that easy to go from the pinky from this kind of hand position to this hand position. It's really not that easy, and it's worth to practice those kind of jumps between the G and the B string. Tom Crail doesn't need to practice those jumps because he tuned his guitar into C and F, which makes it a little bit easier. But we are here in standard tuning, so we have this awkward jump between the G and the B string. Okay, and the next thing which is really important is muting from our left hand and from our right hand. And I always try to mute every string which lies underneath the string that I'm playing right now with my palm. The E and the A string I sometimes mute as well. But I try to mute every note, and the note above the string sometimes I try to, or let's say there are a few different kind of ways how to mute them. One is with your fingers. For example, when I'm playing the G string, I mute the B and the E string with my middle and my ring finger here. But here you can also hear this kind of harmonic that I create when I pull off from the notes here, because the problem is that my fingers are a little bit too flat, and when I pull them off, they touched a slightly bit the B string, and they struck, in that case, a little bit the B string. So the next thing is try to have the claw as most as possible. Yeah, and those are a few things that you have to be aware of when you're practicing this kind of, or where I recommend to be aware of. Do not practice this one in the first case on speed, because a lot of things you don't hear when you're playing it fast, like the muting or like the pressure. It's a lot easier to play some pull-off stuff fast than to play it slow. The hard thing about playing this one fast is the endurance in your left arm in this kind of section here, and I really And I really noticed that, because the tend that this section by me is not really trained. So I really have to work on this, and this is the thing that I want to do with this exercise. I want to practice this one for the next 2 weeks every day, on precision, on how clear every note is, and especially on speed. I want to show you the results, how fast I can be and how much I can play in 2 weeks. I hope I can play all of it to all the complete scale. But let's see how it develops through practicing this one for 2 weeks nearly every day. At least 1/2 hour. Alright, so much for that. So much for this video about Master the Legato, episode number 4. And yeah, I can't wait to do the next one. The next one will be really tricky as well. And has to do something with hammer-ons, of course. Alright, see you in the next episode of Master the Legato. Maybe next week. I think next week. I had a little bit of a break the last few days, but see you there. I wish you a really great time. Cheers and stay progress. Oh yeah.